All right, let's dive in. Today, it's all about those morning stretch routines. And wow, you guys really threw us a curveball with this mix of sources.
Yeah, it's a good thing we like a challenge, right?
Right. We've got fitness websites, even a popular YouTube channel, and
Oh, and some solid advice from Healthline, too.
yeah. So it seems like what you're really after is figuring out not just which stretches to do, but the whole WHY behind them. Like, why bother, especially first thing in the morning?
Exactly. And, it's really interesting how many of these sources all agree on one thing.
Oh, yeah? What's that?
That morning stiffness, that feeling like you're all creaky and tight, it's pretty much universal.
So it's not just me hitting snooze one too many times then.
No, not at all. It's more about how our bodies just naturally tighten up overnight. Like, think about it. You're in the same position for hours. Circulation slows down while you sleep.
Okay, so maybe it's not just laziness then. But I did notice that Set for Set mentioned that which areas feel stiff can change from day to day.
Oh, absolutely.
Hmm.
They're big on this idea of paying attention to your body each morning. So instead of just doing the same routine every day like a robot,
Right.
you got to check in with yourself. See what actually feels tight. Some mornings it might be your hamstrings. Others it's your neck.
Oh, speaking of necks, Fitness Drum was talking about tech neck being a big culprit for morning stiffness. I mean,
Guilty as charged. All that screen time, right?
yeah, I can't deny it. But okay, so I know I was mainly interested in just getting more flexible, but honestly, all these other benefits these sources talk about kind of blew my mind.
Right. It's way more than just touching your toes.
Yeah, like they were saying stretching can affect your energy levels, stress, even your metabolism.
That's what they're saying. Nourish, Move, Love. They were especially into the energy boost part.
Yeah.
Like stretching can actually pump you up, make you less stressed, and kickstart your metabolism.
Okay, so way better than another cup of coffee then.
Sounds like it. And then Set for Set, they took it even further. They were talking about this whole mind-body connection, how mindful stretching can help you, like, set intentions for your day.
I like that, starting your morning with purpose instead of just rushing around.
Exactly. And then Healthline went in a totally different direction, talking about how stretching can affect things like how well your organs function, your digestion even.
Yeah, that one caught me off guard.
Right. It's wild how everything's connected, even something as simple as stretching. Now, there were a few specific stretches that kept popping up in multiple sources. Seems like they're the real MVPs.
Okay, lay it on me. What are these all-star stretches?
Well, Child's Pose came up a lot. Healthline, Nourish, Move, Love, they both mentioned it. And Downward Dog was another popular one. Set for Set even included it in their sample morning routine.
Okay, child's pose. I can picture that one. But what makes it so great?
Healthline, they broke it down really well. They said it targets a bunch of areas at once, your hips, thighs, spine, all that. Plus, it's supposed to be really calming. So release tension, get centered, all in one pose.
Now, downward dog, I've tried that, but I'm never sure I'm doing it right. Any tips?
Downward Dog. A classic for a reason. It's what they call a mild inversion, meaning your heart's above your head, which Healthline and Set for Set both say can be good for things like sciatica and fatigue. And Healthline specifically said to make sure you keep your shoulders down and back.
Oh, I probably hunch up without even realizing it.
It's a common mistake, apparently. Makes the pose less effective. And Set for Set is another good tip. Focus on really opening up your hips in Downward Dog.
So it's not just about getting into the pose, it's what you're doing in it.
Right. Adds intention to the stretch. But, okay, real talk. Some mornings are just too crazy for old routine, right? What do our sources say about that?
Yeah, good point. What if you're seriously pressed for time?
Well, Set for Set had a whole section on in-bed stretches, which...
Hold on, in-bed stretches? That sounds amazing.
Right. They had some that sounded kind of unusual but effective, like the piriformis stretch and the happy baby pose.
In bed, I'm all about that. What are those like?
Basically multitasking your well-being. They're both good for your hips and lower back. And hey, you're already in bed. Might as well.
Absolutely. Now, what about if you can't do all those fancy poses? Maybe you've got some mobility limitations. What about something simple like seated stretches?
They had those too. Both Set for Set and Healthline were talking about how good seated stretches can be, especially if you have any issues standing or just prefer to stretch in a chair.
Yeah.
So you've got options.
Okay, so far we've learned that morning stretching is way more than just touching your toes, and there are options for everyone, even on those crazy mornings. Anything else we should hit on before we move on?
Yeah, one thing that came up again and again across all our sources, listen to your body, don't push yourself too hard, modify stretches if you need to, and if you're ever worried, definitely check in with a physical therapist.
Good advice. Fitness Drum was especially big on that, especially if you've gotten any specific injuries or anything.
It's true. Everyone's different. What works for one person might not for another. That could get me thinking. Set for Set mentioned a connection between tight hamstrings and lower back pain.
Interesting.
Yeah, so maybe if our listener has back pain, that's something to look into,
It's all connected. All right, so to recap, morning stretching can help us loosen up, boost our energy, even get our minds right for the day, and it doesn't have to take forever.
Nope, not at all. But there's one more thing I think we should touch on before we wrap up this part of our deep dive.
Okay, I'm intrigued. What is it?
It's about, going beyond just the physical benefits of stretching. Like, those are great, but there's this whole other side to it, the mental and emotional impact.
Ooh, this is right up my alley. Tell me more.
Well, you remember how Set for Set was talking about that mind-body connection? They were saying that mindful stretching can help you, really set intentions for your day.
So it's about more than just getting flexible. It's about being more aware, more intentional in your life.
Exactly. And Nourish Move Love was saying how stretching can actually help you release pent-up emotions, all that tension we hold in our bodies.
I can totally relate to that. Sometimes when I stretch, it's like I'm letting go of stress, not just physical tightness.
Right. It's powerful stuff. So how do we tap into that?
Yeah, how do we make stretching more mindful?
Well, Set for Set said it can be as simple as just paying attention to your breath while you stretch, noticing how your body feels.
So tuning into the sensations, any emotions that come up.
Exactly. Be present in the moment. You're saying you want to be more mindful in your day-to-day life?
Yeah, definitely.
This could be a good place to start.
Makes sense. So not adding another thing to my to-do list, just changing my mindset.
Right. And Set for Set also said, try setting an intention for your stretching or even for your whole day right when you start.
Oh, I like that. Connecting with your goals from the moment you wake up.
Exactly. All right, so to wrap up this part of our deep dive, we've learned that morning stretching can loosen us up, boost our energy, help us connect with ourselves on a deeper level.
So much more than just a physical exercise.
Exactly. Are you ready to get flexible with your mind?
I am. Bring on part 2.
Welcome back to our deep dive. It's pretty impressive how you found all these different sources for us to dig into.
Well, I gotta be thorough, right. And speaking of thorough, I'm really curious to hear more about those time crunch solutions we were talking about earlier. Like, what if you barely have time to brush your teeth in the morning, let alone do a whole stretching routine?
No worries, our sources have got you covered. Set for Set had some really clever ideas. Remember that world's greatest stretch they mentioned?
Oh yeah, that name definitely stuck with me. What's so great about it?
Well, according to Set for Set, it hits multiple areas at once. Hips, hamstrings, back, the works, and you can do it in a minute or two. Perfect for those crazy mornings.
I'm sensing a theme here. Multitasking is key for a good morning stretch routine.
You got it. Got to maximize that time. Another one that stood out was the Samson stretch. Fitness Drum was a big fan of that one.
Samson stretch. Okay, that sounds intense, like biblical strength level intense.
Actually, it's more about precision than brute strength. Fitness Drum was saying it targets those hip flexors, which can get super tight from sitting all day. And you can adjust how intense it is based on how far you step forward.
So you can customize it, make it work for your level. That's good.
Exactly. No need to go overboard. It's all about finding what feels good for you. And speaking of tools, Nourish Move Love actually suggested using a foam roller in their morning routine example. They said it's great for loosening up those muscles and improving mobility.
Foam rolling first thing in the morning. Sounds kind of intense for 6 a.m. Is that really realistic?
I mean, it depends on your personal style, right? If you like a more vigorous wake-up call, go for it. But Nourish Move Love did mention some modifications, gentler techniques too, so you can always adjust it to your needs. No need to jump into the deep end right away.
Makes sense. So what about those seated stretches we were talking about earlier? Those seem like they'd fit well into a quick routine.
Definitely. Set for Set even suggested a seated spinal roll, which they said is amazing for de-stressing and improving posture. And the beauty of seated stretches, you can do them pretty much anywhere at your desk waiting for your coffee, even in the car if you're stuck in traffic.
Okay, I'm starting to see the light here. No matter how hectic things get, there's always a way to squeeze in some stretching.
Exactly. It's all about being creative, finding what works for you. But hey, let's not forget the golden rule. Listen to your body.
Right. Even the world's greatest stretch might not be the best choice every single day.
Precisely. You got to pay attention to those expert tips, too. Remember how Healthline was saying don't hunch your shoulders in downward dog? Little details like that can make a big difference.
Oh, yeah, I need to remember that one. Probably been doing it wrong this whole time.
We've all been there. The important thing is to keep learning, keep refining that technique. So, quick recap. Morning stretching can help loosen us up, get our energy going, even put us in a better mindset. And it doesn't have to be a huge time commitment.
Exactly.
But, there's one more thing I think we should talk about before we wrap up this part of our deep dive.
Oh, lay it on me. What else is there?
It's about, thinking beyond just the physical stuff. Like, yeah, getting more flexible is great, but there's this whole other level to stretching, the mental and emotional benefits.
Okay, now you're speaking my language. Tell me more about this.
Well, several of our sources were talking about this connection between stretching and mindfulness. Like, Set for Set said that just focusing on your breath while you stretch can help calm your nervous system down.
So it's kind of like sneaking in a mini meditation session while you stretch.
Exactly. You tune into your breath, and all those racing thoughts, those worries, they kind of fade into the background.
It's like hitting the reset button for your mind before you even start your day. Love it. What else did our sources say about this mind-body connection?
Nourish, Move, Love had a really interesting take on it. They were saying that stretching can actually help you release those pent-up emotions, all that tension we tend to store in our bodies.
Oh yeah, I can definitely relate to that. Sometimes when I'm stretching, it feels like I'm letting go of more than just physical tightness, It's like emotional stuff is coming out too.
It's powerful stuff. It's like those stretches are helping us process and release things that might be weighing us down mentally or emotionally. So how do we actually, make that happen?
Yeah, how do you make stretching more mindful? Like, do I need to be chanting mantras while I'm in downward dog? I'm not sure I'm quite there yet.
Uh-huh. Not necessarily. So if chanting's your thing, go for it.
Yeah.
But Set for Set suggested something much simpler. Just bring your attention to your breath and really notice how your body feels in each stretch.
So pay attention to the sensations, the tightness, the release, even any emotions that come up.
Exactly. Be present. Be in the moment. You were saying you want to be more mindful in your everyday life?
For sure.
This could be a good way to start practicing that.
Yeah, it's not about adding another thing to my to-do list. It's just about shifting my focus, being more intentional. I like that.
And Set for Set had another good tip. Try setting an intention for your stretching, or even for your whole day, right as you're starting.
So like taking a moment to think about your goals, what you want to achieve.
Exactly. Aligning your actions with your aspirations from the moment you wake up. Now, remember how Healthline was talking about those unexpected benefits of stretching? Like how it can affect your organs, your digestion?
Oh yeah, that one really surprised me. How does stretching actually do that?
Well, it seems like certain stretches can boost blood flow to those areas, even though we don't usually think of stretching as directly impacting our organs.
Huh. So it's like giving your organs a little internal massage.
I like that analogy.
Yeah.
And better circulation means those organs are getting more nutrients, more oxygen, which helps them function better overall.
That's so cool. The more we learn about stretching, the more amazing it seems. Are there any other surprises in store for us?
Actually, there's one more. A few sources mention that stretching before bed can actually improve your sleep.
Whoa, wait a minute. We've been talking about morning routines this whole time, but you're saying stretching at night key is good too?
It can be. Apparently, it helps release tension, calm your nervous system down so you're more relaxed and ready for sleep. You're saying you're trying to improve your sleep, right?
Always.
Well, this could be a simple way to do that.
Mind blown. Definitely adding some bedtime stretches to my routine. Okay, so we've covered a lot in this deep dive. Physical benefits, mental and emotional benefits, time-saving tips, even nighttime stretching.
We've been all over the map. But I think the biggest takeaway is this. Stretching isn't just a physical thing. It's a powerful tool for your overall well-being.
So true. What's the final thought you want to leave our listener with today?
Don't underestimate the power of even a few minutes of stretching. Whether you're a yoga pro or just starting out, making it a regular part of your life can make a big difference, both for your body and your mind.
Couldn't have said it better myself. And remember, it's not about being perfect. It's about finding what works for you and sticking with it.
Exactly. So go ahead, get stretching, and enjoy all the amazing benefits.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. We'll see you next time. Okay, we're back and ready for the final part of our morning stretching deep dive. And I gotta say, after all this talk about the mental and emotional benefits, I'm ready to get flexible in more ways than one.
I love that. Yeah, we were just starting to touch on how stretching can be good for us mentally and emotionally, not just physically.
Right, it's like stretching is the secret weapon for total well-being. So what else did our sources have to say about that?
Well, a lot of them talked about this link between stretching and mindfulness.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Like Set for Set specifically said that even just paying attention to your breath while you're stretching can help calm your nervous system down.
Huh. So it's like a mini meditation session built right into your stretching.
Exactly.
Yeah.
When you focus on your breath, you're not thinking about all those to-dos, all those worries. It just naturally creates a sense of calm.
It's like hitting the reset button on your mind before you even get out of bed. What else did they say about this whole mind-body thing?
Nourish, Move, Love, they had a really interesting perspective. They were talking about how stretching can help you release pent-up emotions, all that tension we hold in our bodies.
Oh, yeah, I totally get that. Sometimes when I stretch, it's like I'm not just releasing physical tightness, it's emotional stuff too.
It's powerful stuff. It's like those stretches are helping us process, let go of things that might be weighing us down, you know?
Okay, so how do we tap into that? Like, practically speaking, how do we make stretching more mindful?
Well, it doesn't have to be complicated. Set for Set said to just try bringing your attention to your breath and really feeling what's happening in your body as you stretch.
So, like, notice the sensations, any emotions that come up.
Exactly. Be present in the moment.
Yeah.
You were saying you want to be more mindful in your life.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, this could be a good way to start practicing that.
That makes sense. So, not adding another thing to my to-do list, just changing my approach.
Right. And Set for Set also suggested trying to set an intention for your stretching or even for your whole day right when you start.
Oh, I like that. Connecting with your goals first thing in the morning.
Exactly. Now, remember how Healthline talked about all those unexpected benefits of stretching, like how it can affect your organs and digestion?
Yeah, that one really surprised me. How does stretching do that?
Well, it seems like certain stretches can increase blood flow to those areas, even though we don't usually think about stretching as directly affecting our organs.
So it's like giving your organs a little internal massage.
I love that. And more blood flow means those organs are getting more nutrients, more oxygen, so they can function better.
Wow, that's incredible. It seems like the more we learn about stretching, the more amazing it is. Any other surprises up your sleeve?
Actually, yeah. A couple of sources mentioned that stretching before bed can actually help you sleep better.
Wait, seriously, we've been talking about morning routines this whole time, but you're telling me stretching at night is a good thing too?
Apparently, it can help you relax, unwind, release all that tension from the day so you're more ready for sleep. You said you want to improve your sleep, right?
Always looking for ways to sleep better.
Well, this could be a simple way to do it. Just a few stretches before you hit the hay.
Mind blown. Okay, gotta add that to my routine. So, we've covered a lot in this deep dive. Physical benefits, mental and emotional benefits, tips for busy mornings, even nighttime stretching.
We've been on quite a journey. But I think the biggest takeaway is this. Stretching isn't just about your body, it's about your whole well-being.
So true. What's the one thing you want our listener to remember?
Don't underestimate the power of stretching, even just a few minutes a day. Whether you're a yoga master or a complete beginner, making it a regular habit can make a huge difference in your life.
Absolutely. And it's not about being perfect. It's about finding what works for you and making it part of your routine.
Couldn't agree more. So get out there, get stretching, and enjoy the benefits.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. Until next time, happy stretching, everyone.